This is the first time I'm vlogging my day like this in this type of format. I wanted to try vlogging, so please bear with me. So I'm going to be doing my makeup now. I don't really have any plans for today. I usually start out with applying Nivea lotion and then I go on top of that with some sunscreen. I didn't show you guys the lotion, but this is the sunscreen I'll be using. I got it from a Korean beauty store in the mall in Nishantashi. I'm not the type of girl that's really into doing makeup. I find myself doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not very experimental when it comes to makeup. I also like to buy my makeup as cheap as possible, and I've been doing a new thing where once I buy something, a makeup product, I'm going to be using it till it's done before I can buy another makeup product. Because in the past, I used to just buy makeup whenever I would see it or like it. I would just buy it, and then sometimes I would never end up using it, or I forget about the other thing that I was using and then it sits for years and years and years. So I decided that from now on, I will not be doing that anymore. I'm just going to finish the makeup that I do have, and then once I finish that, I will go ahead and buy either something totally brand new and venture out, or I'll buy the same thing. I'm using the Kiko concealer here. This is an example. So I got this a few months, I think more than a few months ago. I got this last year and I haven't really used it. As you can see, it's very lightly used. So before I go out and buy a brand new concealer, I want to finish this one. So I usually like to start with a cream concealer. I'll go on top of that with a liquid concealer. So I'll also be using another Kiko concealer that I also bought a few years ago that I just forgot, not a few years ago, last year that I forgot about. So usually I'll just do like that. And guys, like I said, I am not a makeup expert and I'm not claiming to be one. And in fact, you shouldn't really be following my makeup tutorial. Because I think I'm so bad at makeup, but it just works for me, you know? I just do whatever I do. So I'm just blending all of my makeup out. Now that I did my concealer, the next thing I like to go in with is a cream blush. I got this recently when I was in New York. It's by Tier. I never heard of this brand before. And I was in Ulta. Where's my makeup brush? I was in Ulta with one of my friends and she pointed out this brand, and I think it's Korean also. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that they have this at Ulta. So I looked at it and I really liked it because I like cream products. I feel I lean more towards them. And I've been wanting a new cream blush because I finished my other cream blush. So I had a cream blush by e.l.f. that I was using before. That I didn't purchase it. My sister actually gave me that e.l.f. one because she didn't like the color of it on her skin and she didn't want to throw it away, so she asked if I would want it and I said yes. So I've been using that e.l.f. blush, but I finished that and now I'm going in with this blush, so I'll be using this one for a while. I really like this blush though. I really like, it's so easy to blend. I didn't really like the e.l.f. one, to be honest. I don't know why. I feel like the e.l.f. one that I had before was really hard to blend. Okay, then I like to go, I have another Kiko product. I like to go on top of the cream blush with a, what do you call this? Powder blush? Is that the correct term? I don't know. I guess it would be powder blush, right? Okay, I think that's enough blush. I don't wear foundation. I don't do contouring, bronzer, or any of that. So now what I like to do is so I bought this palette. This is also new. I got it from Ulta because the previous eyeshadow palette I had was from Kiko and I beat that palette up. Like there was nothing left in it. There was only one palette, like one little pot of eyeshadow left, and I dropped it and it broke, and so I had to throw that palette away. Otherwise I probably would have kept using it. But anyway, so this is what I'm going in with. I'm gonna take one of these browns at the bottom here and do under my eyelash. I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm doing. Okay, I have no plans for today. I just wanted to get ready and see where I'm gonna go. It's really windy outside. I don't know if you've heard the wind. In my apartment, it gets a lot of wind, so you can hear the wind when you're in my home, which is fine. But that means it is windy today if it's windy in my apartment. But the weather looks really nice. It looks sunny today. So yeah, I just thought I would get ready and kind of show you guys my process of me getting ready, and then we'll see where I end up going. So I do live in Istanbul, for those of you who are new or who don't know anything about me. I was born and raised in the US, and I moved to Istanbul 6 years ago because it was always a dream of mine. Now I'm going to try to maybe do like an eyeshadow look. Bear with me. I think I shouldn't go into detail on what I'm doing because honestly, I don't think anybody is going to be recreating my makeup looks anytime soon because I am not good at doing makeup. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to talk about my story instead while I kind of get ready. Was born and raised in the US. I moved to Istanbul 6 years ago because it was always a dream of mine to live in Istanbul ever since I was 10. The first time I ever came to Istanbul, I was 10 years old in 2008, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the city. I don't know why. I don't know like what exactly captivated me, but I always kept it in my mind, and I would always tell myself, when I grow up, I'm gonna live in Istanbul. And that was kind of my motivation throughout all my, guys, look at this. Throughout all my life growing up. That was the only thing that kind of kept me going because, you know, I had a very nice childhood and a very nice life. I was very fortunate. But unfortunately, I was bullied a lot in school. I never really had friends. So I was dealing with a lot like socially, and it kind of affected me deeply because like I remember I grew up with a lot of insecurities because of all the bullies that I had. But at the end of the day, like I always kept to myself, and I always kept telling myself like, I'm gonna move to Istanbul, like none of this really matters right now. I need to figure out a way, like how am I gonna move there? My goal was to just leave. Like I grew up in a small town in South Florida, and it's predominantly white, and I am Middle Eastern, and I grew up Muslim. So I was always made fun of because of me being Middle Eastern and me being Muslim. That was always the things like I got picked on. And I obviously looked different than the other kids at my school. You know, Middle Eastern girls we just have different features, you know, like I have thick eyebrows, for example, and that was something I always got picked on by the other girls who barely had eyebrows. And now, look, like now I feel like thick eyebrows are the new thing and everybody wants thick eyebrows, and I was so ahead of my time as a 10-year-old, right? But I remember there was this one girl, I'll never forget it. She came up to me, she's like, do you do your eyebrows? I'm like, no, I don't. I just like let them. She's like, oh, you should maybe start doing your eyebrows. I'm like, thank you. And that was it. That was the end of my conversation with her. But I mean, come on, we're just kids and like you're focusing on my eyebrows. So yeah, I didn't really care because I always had in my mind like, you know, all of this is temporary and my goal is to not be with these people anymore at some point. My eye makeup looks terrible, but okay. I'm just gonna keep going. Then I changed schools a couple of times. So the first school that I went to, or not the first school that I went to, the school that I went to where I got bullied a lot, I was there for 5 years, from 4th grade till 8th grade was my last year. I wanted out. Like I told my parents, like I don't want to be at this school anymore. It was a private Christian school. There weren't a lot of school options in my area, and my mom wanted me to be in private school, so that's the school that she chose for whatever reason. I got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore and I needed to get out of there, and I felt like my mind was so much more developed than the kids around me. Like the kids around me had no clue about anything in life. They were very ignorant, and I felt like I was doing myself this service of staying at that school with these people, and I just wanted to go to a different school with different kids from different backgrounds who are more understanding, and thankfully my parents sent me to a different school. I was there for 2 years, and then, so 9th and 10th grade, and then we moved to California for the last 2 years of my high school, and I hated California. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but I won't go into that. But I hated California. I did not like it. I could not see myself there. I wanted to go back to Florida. When I finished high school, I got accepted to University of Florida. That university, I love UF. UF I'm so glad I chose that as my university. It fit me perfectly. And that university, like my time at UF, obviously everything that's going on in my mind, I'm focusing on how can I move to Istanbul? How can I accomplish my dreams of like living there, right? So UF kind of opened the way for me because like I said, ever since I was 10, I always wanted to move to Istanbul, and that was always the goal of mine. And in UF, I tried to take advantage of their programs. So they had some study abroad programs, and I did a few, and then I did 3 in total, but the last one I did was to Istanbul, right? And actually that study abroad program didn't count for any credits. I just did it completely on my own, and I didn't really want the credits. I just wanted to put my foot through the door in a university in Istanbul. So I found this program in Boğaziçi, and I studied neuroscience, right? So I was looking for programs similar to like my interests, obviously. So I found a neuroscience program, and I emailed the lab, I don't know, manager or whatever he is at the time, and he's like, yeah, we'll take you. I said, okay, cool. So I spent like that whole summer kind of going to that laboratory and trying to build a relationship with this lab manager, because I knew that, you know, I wanted to study here, and that's gonna allow me to stay in Istanbul. So I spent the summer there. I was learning whatever I needed to learn, and then I came back to UF because I had 1 semester left. I graduated a semester early, so I only had 1 semester left after that summer. And after graduating from UF, I started studying for the exams to that university for graduate school. I wanted to do my master's. That was something I wanted to do anyways, whether it was in Istanbul or not, but I knew I wanted to do my master's. And I figured, okay, I can do my master's in Istanbul. It's more affordable. It's, you know, it's in a city that I want to be in. I can do it for myself financially because I don't want to take like any student loan or anything. So I thought that would be the best choice. So I studied really hard because that university, Boğaziçi, it's really hard to get into. It's especially for graduate school, it's hard. I mean, any program at Boğaziçi is hard to get into, but for grad school, you have to take like a departmental exam. And at the time it was COVID. But anyway, I was studying for months and months because they can ask you on the department. And the department I applied for, it's very varied, right? It's like there's a variety of topics. It includes like computer science, philosophy, psychology, like neuroscience, anatomy, like so many biology, like so many different things are fair game in terms of the departmental exam. How it works, if COVID wasn't a thing, you have to go to the university and take a written exam, and then if you pass the written exam, you get moved on to the oral exam. And then if you pass the oral exam, you have to basically sell yourself to a panel of I want to say like directors or people who are on the academic board. You have to basically explain what it is you're going to do in this master's, why they should accept you into their program. It's very competitive. It was really overwhelming. It was super stressful, but thankfully at that time it was COVID. So they didn't have the written exam. They did the oral exam via Zoom. They asked you 2 questions in this 5-minute oral exam, and you have to give, you know, a 2.5 minute answer for each question, up to 2.5 minutes. And they could have asked anything, right? Anything. So that was the thing that was really overwhelming to me, because if I don't know enough, or like if I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it was really overwhelming because they can ask anything. But thankfully, I answered the 2 questions. I knew exactly what they were talking about. I answered those 2 questions. Then I got moved on to the judging stage, where the people on the academic board basically, like I have to basically sell myself to them and just explain like what a great candidate I am for this program. And that was really overwhelming. I want to say there were maybe 5 people on the board, and they were very brutal. Then I got accepted. So I think there were a lot of people who applied to the program, but I think they only accepted 8 people, and I was one of those 8 people. So I was super excited that I was accepted, and my program was supposed to be for 3 years, but I finished it in 2 because I am an overachiever and I wrote my thesis in like a month. But yeah, I was able to kind of accomplish my goal of living in Istanbul, moving to Istanbul, and then after I graduated, I was able to find a job in Istanbul, and I've been working here ever since. So it's been 4 years that I've been working. 2 years I studied, and then 4 years I've been working. So that's kind of a brief summary of my story, and I finished doing my makeup. I usually put my lipstick and stuff on at the end. So now I'm gonna get dressed, but I want to show you guys what I'm going to wear. So yesterday I went to Nişantaşı and I actually bought a dress, and I think I'm gonna wear it today, but I'm gonna show you guys the dress real quick. So this is a dress that I got. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me put it on. Okay, so here's the dress. Okay, so I left my apartment. I put my hair in a bun because it is a bit windy today, and now I'm on my way to the ferry station. I decided I wanted to go to Kuzguncuk today. I don't know, I've been really missing it, so why not? I need to check though if there's a ferry that goes there directly, or I will just take the ferry that goes to Üsküdar, and I'll either walk to Kuzguncuk or take the bus. Okay, so I'm almost at the ferry station. I don't think that there is a ferry that goes directly from Beşiktaş to Kuzguncuk on Saturdays, but let's go and see. As expected, there is no ferry. There's no ferry going to Kuzguncuk, so let's go to Üsküdar. So I just got off the ferry and I decided I'm going to walk from Üsküdar to Kuzguncuk. It's around a 25-minute walk, and I wore my sneakers. So yeah, let's walk. I just made it to Kuzguncuk. We made it to the colorful houses of Kuzguncuk. So I just arrived to a cafe. I ordered a strawberry lemonade and a Sebastian cheesecake. So I'm gonna walk back to Üsküdar. I think it's good to take a walk now because I just had that delicious dessert. So now it's time to burn off those calories. So as I was walking, I saw this cool cafe that I wanted to try. I ordered an iced cinnamon latte. I've never tried that before, so I'll let you know how it tastes. Okay, so I just got my drink. Let's try it. It actually tastes like cinnamon. It's kind of like a cinnamon roll. Oh my god. I almost got you guys. It's really good. So I just came home from being out all day. Let me know if you guys liked this video today, and if you do, I'll probably start making more of these on a regular basis. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and give me a comment down below on your thoughts of this video or maybe what you would like to see. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!